ECOWAS, the African Union, and the United Nations should not stand by while the situation deteriorates.
President Muhammadu Buhari insists military involvement in governance in whatever guise is an aberration.
The ECOWAS has established a roadmap to come up with a post-2020, in other words, ECOWAS 2050 vision for the sub-region.
Impact of ECOWAS Vision 2020 subject of discourse as National Consultation Workshop holds in Abuja. Crisis in Mali generating more attention. Good evening. Thanks for joining us on NTA Network News. I'm Cyril Stober in Abuja. Hingino John Adams will join us from Lagos, while Muhammad Ibrahim is in Maiduguri. Now for the news. President Muhammadu Buhari is urging what he calls the unconstitutional authority in the Republic of Mali to act responsibly by releasing unconditionally and with immediate effect President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta and other senior government officials in detention. The president stated this while addressing the ECOWAS extraordinary session in Mali and maintaining that military involvement in governance in whatever guise is an aberration. State House correspondent Adam Musambu has the report.
Indeed, it saddens me greatly as we meet today to discuss the turn of events in Mali.
This extraordinary session of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government is convened to discuss and find solutions to the disturbing political situation in Mali following Tuesday's coup d'etat. President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta, who announced his resignation, perhaps under duress to avoid bloodshed, is still in detention alongside Prime Minister Boubou Cissé and other senior members of his government. The action of the military, President Buhari said, runs counter to the letter and spirit of ECOWAS protocol on good governance and democracy.
The events in Mali are great setbacks for regional diplomacy, which have grave consequences for the peace and security of West Africa. Mali has not only descended into political chaos, but also socio-economic and security disaster with potential tragic consequences to the sub-region.
The authority of ECOWAS heads of state and government, the Nigerian leader insists, should not allow this dastardly act to stand.
The closure of borders already called for by ECOWAS should be our first line of action. We need to isolate series of sanctions regimes that can create and sustain sufficient pressure on the military to force a return to constitutional governance. A politically stable Mali is paramount and crucial to the stability of the sub-region. ECOWAS, the African Union, and the United Nations should not stand by while the situation deteriorates.
While appreciating the strong statements of condemnation by the international bodies, President Buhari urged them to continue working with ECOWAS until sanity returns to Mali with the restoration of civil administration. From the State House, Adam Musambu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the heads of state and government of the Economic Community of West African States have resolved to remain steadfast and indeed unyielding in their determination towards the restoration of constitutional order, peace and security in the Republic of Mali. This is contained in a declaration adopted after an extraordinary session on the political situation in the West African nation. Here again is Adam Musambu with the details.
The interactive engagement by the ECOWAS leaders held virtually was informed by the coup d'etat in Mali and its potential consequences on the social well-being, security and economy of the West African nation and the sub-region. The meeting, which lasted about 4 hours behind closed doors, critically analyzed the situation and came up with far-reaching measures on the way forward. Apart from insisting on the restoration of constitutional order as well as the unconditional release of President Ibrahim Keita and all those arrested, the West African leaders also ordered an immediate stoppage of economic relations with Mali. Exceptions are, however, granted to staple foods, fuel, and medication for the sake of Malian populace. In the meantime, those of the ECOWAS leaders will remain open for continued engagement with all parties to the crisis. They therefore mandated former President Goodluck Jonathan, who is the ECOWAS Special Envoy and head of the mediation mission, to visit Mali alongside the President of the ECOWAS Commission, Jean-Claude Cassibrou, to convey the resolutions adopted at the extraordinary summit. President Muhammadu Buhari and his counterparts commended the ECOWAS chairman and president of Niger, Muhammadu Isufu, for his continued efforts at addressing the political situation in Mali since the results of the disputed parliamentary elections were announced in March. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
We are joined on the line now from Mali by Bakari Diarra, a journalist in Bamako. Bakari, thanks for joining us on Network News. Could you just tell us briefly what's the current situation in Mali?
Okay, so the political situation in Mali has become calm after the resignation of Ibrahim Keita and the establishment of the National Committee for the Salvation of the People. The chairman of this committee is Colonel Keita. The National Committee for the Salvation of the People is an immediate return to constitutional order by returning the power to civil society after consultation with the social strata.
All right.
This is a new page.
Now,
the National Committee for the Salvation of the People met with the Secretary General of the Government Department of SA
okay.
to ask them to assure the continuity of the administration.
All right. Now, just.
All arrangement will be made.
Okay. Now, just tell us.
Challenges of the country.
Okay, Bakari, just tell us, how are the people reacting to this coup? How are the people reacting?
Okay, so today, I think during research, all Malians are starting working today since 8 a.m.
Okay.
And no problem for the work in Mali today.
Okay, fine. Obviously.
There's a lot of reaction in the country. So many of them wish the Malians for the peace and the national unity in the organization of free and transparent and legislative elections.
All right.
This is the reaction of many of Malians.
Okay, it's very obvious that the line isn't very clear, but if you can hear me still, has the new junta said anything so far about a transition to civil rule? Have they said anything?
The committee said they are going to organize an election on the 9th of after they putting in place the government of 15 members.
Okay. Okay, but no specific dates, actually. The journalist Bakari Diarra speaking to me earlier on from Mali in Bamako. There's still more on the situation in that country, as I'm being joined now by Ambassador Kenneth Nwachukwu, who is Nigeria's immediate past ambassador to Mali. And we also have Ambassador Ilya Ali Nuhu, also a former Nigerian ambassador to the Republic of Mali. Thanks for joining us on Network News. And let's just go straight to it all. And we start off with you, Ambassador Kenneth Nwachukwu, Nigeria's immediate past ambassador to Mali. We all saw the ECOWAS leaders sit back and hold in-depth discussions. And among the declarations at the summit, they had firmness on the restoration of constitutional order and the release of President Keita, who's been held in detention. What do you think about this?
Having me, there is no other way of going about it. ECOWAS has been very firm that they cannot tolerate an illegal push or unconstitutional removal of governments, because that is actually a fraught situation and can be a contagion. So there is need for us to maintain this posture. Or if not, it's going to have a wider ramifications. You could have some copycat situations because every country is confronted with one problem or another before you have a few other chaps who could be excited and decide to think that that's the best way to go.
ECOWAS has also resolved to stop all, economic relations with Mali, but they've made a few exceptions. Staple foods, medications, and this is just so the people can have access to these on humanitarian grounds. So how do you think this will affect the junta?
Thank you very much. The way things are going, there will be a need, for a concerted action to be able to deal with the crisis on the ground. This will not be the first time sanctions have been imposed on Mali. In 2012, yes, when the military junta overthrew the legitimate and constitutional government. We saw the mobilization that took place and the various sanctions that were imposed. But they didn't really have the effect that they were supposed to have. And I don't really think, in my own opinion, that sanctions of any kind would be the desired effect. They would, yes, create isolation, but isolation could have a very devastating effect. So rather than creating that atmosphere of isolation, I think there is a need for the parties, or rather for ECOWAS and all peace-loving nations to rally around and think of who should be involved and who should be engaged in order to bring all the parties to a table to deal with the circumstance.
Well, there's a window already. The ECOWAS also created a window for that. Ambassador Wachku, despite the tough stance the body has taken, it's still leaving a window open and has appointed an envoy to mediate. Do you think the junta will listen to this envoy?
The junta would have no choice other than to listen to the envoy. At the moment, I think they are reacting to some populist impulses, because right now you have the euphoria because people came out in mass to support them. But over time, reality will set in as people begin to demand for more. What are the gratifications they are going to get from this removal of government, or the removal of Ibeka from power? So when that happens and they are unable to deliver, then reality sets in. So there is need for them to be engaged with the international community. But about having to hobnob with them as peers certainly doesn't fly here. I think that the efforts and the decisions of the ECOWAS heads of state and government is the right one to do, but we have to ensure that only those in power or those who are direct beneficiaries of this development are punished, and not the long-suffering masses of Mali.
Let's go back to Ambassador Ilya Ali Nuhu. You just said that you don't think the sanctions will work, and there has to be another way. So you don't think force is an option?
Force in Mali, from the benefit of hindsight, because I happened to be there during the mid of the crisis, went through it, from 2012 to 2015. Participated in all the negotiation from the from the Ouagadougou Accord to various political and military meetings, to the Algiers, processes, that lasted for over 2 years, and force. I don't know what force again can be used in a country where you already have a UN, peacekeeping force MINUSMA, on the ground, which is made up of virtually all the organizations that are calling for sanctions, with France, which is a major, player, being part, of the force, and the EU, all the countries are there, the United States and everybody. So I don't know what kind of force can be mobilized at this stage, to deal with the situation with already what is on the ground. So for me, force is out of the question and can never bring the desired effect.
It's looking like it's a tough call here with the junta not listening. But let's look at another aspect of it. The opposition is reportedly in support of this coup and endorsing it. What's your take on that?
I think what the opposition did was to harvest the angst and disappointment in the society. For the past 3 months, people have been clamoring for a change. And it's important you understand the metrics of this demand. Unemployment in Mali is over 50%. The economy is in the tank. You have accusations, these allegations of cronyism, of economic malfeasance. These are the underpinnings of this struggle. And what the opposition did was to simply harvest this anger from the people. And when you have that with a fusion of a cleric like Mahmoud Diko, what you had was a combustible situation. And of course, it was only normal for the military to leverage upon that. And this is what we see. But my fear here is that this euphoria is only of a temporary nature. It's not going to last.
Right. I would like to thank you for your comments. Ambassador Kenneth Nwachukwu, immediate past ambassador to Mali. Thank you for coming. And also thanks to you, Ambassador Ilya Ali Nuhu, also a former ambassador to Mali. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, in other news, assessing the impact of ECOWAS Vision 2020 and the proposal of a new vision post-2020 has formed a national consultation workshop organized by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, that of Finance, Budget and National Planning, in conjunction with the ECOWAS Commission. Chimobi Walter Naji reports that the workshop is further aimed at deepening regional integration.
Having a robust economic vision both in Nigeria and the ECOWAS region is regarded as a veritable tool of regional development, and Nigeria has played a vital role in ensuring ECOWAS achieves this vision. In recent times, the regulatory role of ECOWAS has been brought to question following various trade and political infractions in different member states. Now, this necessitated these stakeholders' consultative workshop to find lasting solutions to the problems of insecurity, trade barriers, and regional integration.
And in response to the many persistent challenges facing the region, the ECOWAS has established a roadmap to come up with a post-2020, in other words, ECOWAS 2050 vision for the sub-region. And the objective of this workshop, therefore, is to collectively assess the ECOWAS vision 2020 and to ensure that the ECOWAS post-2020 vision reflects Nigeria's national interest.
I would therefore like to appeal to the Federal Republic of Nigeria to start to reflect on how the new ECOWAS Vision 2050 will be mainstreamed into the long-term development plans of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
To also bring the people together in a focused group discussion forum to gather their views, experience, opinions, and share ideas on the three fundamental areas.
It is expected that the workshop will create some sort of blueprint for a post-2020 vision. In Abuja, Chimubi Walter Naji, NTA News.
And time to go for our first break. The news continues shortly.
Welcome to Glo's new data plans with night browsing bonus. Dial *777#. Glo Unlimited.
Tough on stains with longer lasting freshness. New Omo Extra Fresh with longer lasting freshness. Tough on stains with longer lasting freshness. New Omo Extra Fresh with longer lasting freshness. Tough on stains with longer lasting freshness. New Omo Extra Fresh with longer lasting freshness.
Who says we have to go back to normal? What if we choose to be open and say, I will never call my job unimportant again. I refuse to be a stranger in my own living room. I'll lead like a woman, and I stand by every word I say. Make my vote count, make my voice heard today. See, I'll never forget how much stronger we are together. I'll carry that in my heart forever. We'll weather the storm, so I'll be open like never before.
Love is such a beautiful thing. But what happens when love hits the rock?
Please, leave me alone.
When things turn sour.
Tell me the truth.
This was for you, babe.
Really? Yes.
And you fear the damage cannot be fixed.
But I don't want to lose my wife.
No, keep it there.
When relationships are in desperate need to be mended, that's where we come in.
ICPC and NTA say you can help Nigeria to flatten the curve on COVID-19, just as you can help flatten the curve on corruption. Follow transparency, accountability, and integrity just as you follow health guidelines. Stay home with integrity and maintain your distance from corruption, just as you stay away from COVID-19 by maintaining social distance. Report every act of corruption to ICPC, just as you report COVID-19 to NCDC. Stay away from corruption, stay safe from COVID-19. Report any act of corruption to ICPC on toll-free number 0800-2255-4272. This message is brought to you by ICPC and NTA.
Thanks for staying with us. Now, determined to improve the security architecture in the country, President Muhammadu Buhari has approved 13 billion naira for the takeoff of community policing in Nigeria. And 16 of the 20 states that have completed documentation received 1.6 billion naira World Bank grant on COVID-19. State House correspondent Jide Onifari reports on these and other deliberations at the National Economic Council meeting held this Thursday.
Utilization of the funding for the community policing in the states.
Governor Abdullahi Sule, during a media briefing after the meeting held virtually and anchored from the office of the Vice President, recalls the presentation of the National Security Advisor on the state of security in Nigeria in June 2019. As the concern of the National Economic Council led to the inauguration of an ad hoc committee on security and community policing, headed by Governor Kayode Fayemi of Ekiti State.
And the federal government has already approved 13 billion naira for this same purpose, to be used for community policing in Nigeria.
And Vice President Yemi Osinbajo directed the governors, the Secretary to Government of the Federation, the Finance Minister and the Inspector General of Police to work out how the funds would be utilized to ensure an effective implementation of community policing in the country. On the World Bank stimulus package for states in Nigeria and COVID-19 pandemic, Governor Abdullahi Sule says the institution has approved 35 states in Nigeria, as one of the states is yet to file in its application. Of the first 22 states, 16 have received 100 million naira each, while 5 are on the list for the next batch. Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Umar Farouk, in her presentation to the Council, says flooding is the most common and recurring disaster in Nigeria, which is affecting more people and causing more economic losses. She says this is a trend likely to continue.
We are seeking for the support and the guidance of the state government to avert this flood that has been forecasted.
Our council discussed the forex situation in the country regarding the divergence between the exchange rate in the high and yield window compared to the BDC rate. The VP suggested and council resolved that the Central Bank Governor and the Finance Minister should engage the NGF, Nigerian Governors Forum's leadership on this issue, especially the concerns of the governors on the monetization rate used for FAC and revert to NEC.
In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
And speaking of upcoming elections, the Independent National Electoral Commission is counting on the fourth estate of the REM to make the conduct of the governorship elections in Edo and Ondo states and the outstanding by-elections in the country this year a success. To this end, it has been meeting with journalists and media executives to fine-tune arrangements. The latest of such engagements is in Benin, Edo State. Ogochukwuka Ona reports.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, faced with the task of conducting the Edo and Ondo governorship elections and 15 outstanding by-elections within the context of COVID-19, is left with no option than to fine-tune its modus operandi of conducting elections. It has therefore released supplementary regulations, guidelines, and voters' code of conduct, rules of engagement for those on electoral duties. This interface, first with journalists and then media executives in the print and electronic, is part of a series of engagements with all key players. The Commission warns that no acts under any guise should jeopardize the process.
The Commission will not tolerate violence or violent conduct of any manner in terms of the rallies of political parties and their campaigns, and also in terms of what happens on election day.
To further ensure transparency, the Commission has introduced innovations technologically, including the creation of a portal to address media accreditation and other processes. Voters are expected to adhere strictly to guidelines as accreditation and voting are to hold simultaneously beginning at 8:30 in the morning to 2:30 in the afternoon.
In this area, there is need to continually educate voters.
It needs the collaboration of everybody that has the interest of Edo State at heart.
In Benin, Ogochukwuka Ona, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the reappointment of the Managing Director, Niger Delta Power Holding Company Nigeria Limited, Mr. Joseph Chedu Ugbo, and 2 executive directors in the company with effect from the 25th of August 2020. A statement from the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation indicates that Engineer Ife Uyedele is reappointed Executive Director, Engineering and Technical Services, while Malam Babayo Shehu also retains his position as Executive Director of Finance and Administration. President Buhari enjoins the appointees to bring their wealth of experience and expertise to reposition and reinvigorate the Niger Delta Power Holding Company and discharge their responsibilities with the utmost sense of government's commitment to the provision of adequate power supply to Nigerians. In continuation of its nationwide intervention to support the fight against COVID-19, the BUA Group has donated ambulances to Abia State Government. Executive Chairman of the company, Abdusamad Rabiu, said the donation is in line with the commitment of BUA Group to fight the pandemic.
Since the outbreak of coronavirus pandemic, BUA Group, a leading conglomerate in food, mining and manufacturing, has been supporting federal and state governments to contain the virus. Abia State is the latest beneficiary of 3 fully kitted ambulances donated by BUA Group. Representative of the Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of BUA Group, Ibrahim Lile, presented the ambulances to the state government and acknowledged the efforts of the state government in tackling the pandemic.
It is a fight that everybody has to join hand to support its fight. That is why we have donated ambulances. We have also made donations in cash and kind to the federal government, to the state government, to support them in the fight against the COVID-19.
The Governor of Abia State acknowledged BUA Group for the show of empathy, love, and care for the average Nigerian since the outbreak of the pandemic and described the donation as timely.
These 3 items will be strong enablers to help us drive our agenda and our goal. We are testing rapidly, we are testing quickly, we are testing deeply also.
The ambulances, government says, will be deployed to the hinterlands as community testing across all the local government areas in the state have begun, with a view to covering about 30% of the population.
The Sultan of Sokoto and President General, Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, Muhammad Sa'ad Abubakar, has declared Friday the 21st of August as the first day of the new Islamic year 1442 after Hijrah. A statement by the Wazir in Sokoto and Chairman, Advisory Committee on Religious Affairs, Sultanate Council, Sokoto, Professor Sambo Wali Junaidu, says the National Moon Sighting Committee and other committees across the country did not receive any report confirming the sighting of the new moon of Muharram on Wednesday, the 29th of Dhul Hijjah, 1441 after Hijrah. Therefore, Thursday, the 20th of August, is the last day of the year 1441. The Sultan has accepted the report and felicitates with Nigerian Muslims, wishing them Allah's guidance and blessings. While urging Muslims to continue to pray for peace, progress and development of the country, he also wishes them a happy new year. Time now for us to go over to Lagos, link up with Hingino for more reports on Network News. Hingino, it's up to you now.
Thank you, Cyril. 23 young innovators and tech firms have been awarded a total grant of 100 million naira by the Lagos State government to pursue various technology-driven innovations across the 6 pillars of the development agenda of Babajide Sanwo-Olu's administration at the Lagos State Government House, Ikeja. Musa Usula completes the report.
The recipients are the first set of beneficiaries to be picked to benefit from the 250 million naira seed capital earmarked last year as Research and Innovation Fund by the state government. The awardees were selected through highly competitive process overseen by the Lagos State Science Research and Innovation Council, established in 2019 by Governor Sanwo-Olu with the mandate to facilitate and encourage the development of innovative solutions to solve local problems using cutting-edge technology. The beneficiaries commended the governor for creating opportunities for tech startups to push forward their ideas. Governor Sanwo-Olu congratulated the successful awardees of the research funds, urging them to apply the grants judiciously to use it to transform their ideas into reality.
We also believe that the local challenge are best solved by thinking that we understand and we appreciate our local content peculiarities. Lagos supported solutions to Lagos specific challenges. Let us think global, but let us act local. Whatever our problems, let's be able to domesticate it and be able to think our own local solutions to see how it fits into what the things we're doing.
The governor urged unsuccessful applicants not to lose hope, charging them to reapply for the grant in the next round of selection. He said the state government would be increasing the grant to accommodate more innovators in the subsequent application. In Lagos, Nusa Osula, NTA News.
Let's now shift our attention to the maritime sector, where importers at their Papa and Tinkan Island seaports are groaning on the huge surcharge imposed by international shipping firms on cargoes. This development, according to key players, is unacceptable, describing the charges as an act of economic sabotage. Dotun Ogemi has the report.
From spending days in traffic assessing the ports, coupled with cumbersome shipping process, demurrage charges arising from lateness to returning empty containers, and not forgetting the COVID-19 pandemic, the business of shipping has become less profitable, according to Kayode Farinto.
Now that the cost of cargo clearance is even still very high in our country. If you bring in this in, I am afraid Nigerian importation would drop by about 55%.
Without recourse to this and other obstacles, Nigerian shippers were dealt another blow following the imposition of $1,025 surcharge by an international shipping firm, an increase of more than 400%.
Everybody should come on board to oppose this, because if this is levied and collected, then there will be a serious impact, negative impact on the economy. It will go to the little recovery we have made from COVID. It will go to worsening the poverty situation. It will worsen the unemployment situation. It will also, bring about, inflationary trend.
As the Shippers Council awaits further directives to support its stand, stakeholders have urged the federal government to take action against the erring international shipping firm for operating against the rule of trade facilitation agenda of the International Maritime Organization during the pandemic period. In Lagos, Dotun Okunyemi, NTA News.
We now take a break. The news continues shortly.
Talk to you plenty now because I get glue too. That make me to talk. Please, I be not be so. All right. Don't be say I won't talk plenty. Una no self say I no dey lie. You see this glue? If you get them, una no go even una go just dey talk dey go because it is not there.
Right, we're back in Abuja. Not to worry, we'll get to Maiduguri eventually. The Nigeria Governors Forum is scaling up capacity in meeting desperate situations in the fight against COVID-19 and adopting sustainable measures in the delivery of critical services through increased commitment to intervention support partners. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports that this was captured in a communique drafted at the end of its 15th teleconference on COVID-19.
The Nigerian Governors Forum is facilitating access to increased funds from the Universal Basic Education Commission through counterpart waiver from federal government in view of the impact of COVID-19. 29 states have received funding from Regional Disease Surveillance Systems Enhancement Project to strengthen public health response. Data from COVID-19 tests conducted in the country show that 20 local government areas account for 50% of the COVID-19 cases. Hence, states are required to scale up risk communication campaigns. The NGF Ad Hoc Committee, led by Dr. Kayode Fayemi, met with President Muhammadu Buhari over prevailing security situation in the country, where commitment to end the crisis topped the agenda. The forum received an update from Governor Aminu Waziri Tambuwal of Sokoto State on the implementation of Executive Order 10 and financial autonomy for state legislature and judiciary. The NGF, also in collaboration with World Bank, has negotiated a flexible payment term for the acquisition of a software e-procurement solution for all states in the country with 30% advance payment. States are expected to publish a consolidated revenue code, public procurement and debt management laws before 30th of September 2020 to be assessed under the State's Financial Transparency, Accountability and Sustainability Annual Performance Assessment. State governments promise to cooperate with the verification teams from the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation for assessment of the 2019 STFAS, as well as prevailed on doctors to ease their demands to avert a prolonged industrial dispute. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
The Federal Character Commission is leveraging on the rich content and wide reach of the Nigerian Television Authority to advance its mandate of even distribution of social amenities across the nation. Ikechukundukwe reports.
The Federal Character Commission's management, led by the new executive chairman, Dr. Muhiba Dankaka, feels that the NTA platform will surely sensitize and oil her move to actualize one of the Commission's most neglected mandates of ensuring the even distribution of projects in Nigeria.
It's against this background that have been engaging stakeholders of the Commission for collaboration and strategic partnership to implement the socio-economic mandate.
The Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, is optimistic that the mandate being driven by the Federal Character Commission will consolidate on the nation's unity, just as he noted that the NTA is already practicing justice and fairness, as the television stations are already in all states of the Federation.
Not only fairness and equity in the distribution of posts and other appointments, the Commission has the responsibility of ensuring equity in the distribution of infrastructure and social amenities. I can promise you, NTA will work assiduously with you.
With the deal sealed, the management of the Federal Character Commission is leaving the premises of the NTA with a renewed vigor towards implementing the policy of justice and fairness in Abuja. Ikechukundukwe, NTA News.
We'll take some more messages now. Stay with us.
To you plenty, Nana, because I get glue too. I make me the talk. Please, I be not be so. All right. Don't be say I want talk plenty. Una no self say I not dey lie. You see this glow? If you get them, una no go even una go just the talk they go because it is not there.
Enjoy international calls from as low as 40 kobo per second from Niger to the world. Call your loved ones today.
Thank you, my sister. You do well, eh?
Glow Unlimited. Panadol Extra, now also available in a 4-tablet strip at 50 naira only. Panadol Extra, now also available in a 4-tablet strip at 50 naira only. Panadol Extra, now also available in a 4-tablet strip at 50 naira only.
The Administrative Staff College of Nigeria, ASCON, announces the sales of forms from suitably qualified candidates for admission into the Postgraduate Diploma in Public Administration 2020-2021 session. Areas of specialization includes human resource management, finance supplies and materials management, procurement, planning and research, local government and rural development, and public enterprises management. Target audience: applicants with the following qualifications: first degree or higher national diploma, HND from recognized universities or polytechnics, Professional qualifications such as ACA, ACCA, CIS, and any other equivalent professional qualification. Applicants from the armed forces with any of the following qualifications: PSC, Past Staff College, or its equivalent from the armed forces. Date October 2020 to June 2021. Venue Topo Badagry, Lagos. Cost fee 207,000 naira. Accommodation and feeding exclusive. For further inquiries, please contact the Director of Studies, Head of Department, Dr. Aruna Abdul, on 006 305 0788, or the course registrar, Mrs. A.C. Nwankwo, on 003 213 4367. Announcer A.C. Nwankwo for Director General, ASCON.
He'll just get in the ball and a shot call for there. Oh!
You need to recharge your DSTV or GoTV subscription easily, but our office dey far small. You fit use our app to recharge or fix errors. No wahala. Or if you like one-on-one service, our Sabi Men agents, full brand, them be certified field service agents. We fit help you with any gbege. Sabi Men dey for you. If you want recharge your subscription and sharply activate your account, they fit help you resolve any technical challenge or customer inquiry. How you go take know them? Now with them Sabi Man jacket, branded face cap, and backseat box machine with them hold. Now so you go Sabi our Sabi Men for your area. So whether na my DSTV app, my GoTV app, or Sabi Men within your area, make sure say you continue to enjoy world-class quality entertainment anytime at your convenience. We do your side.
You can follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook at NTA Network News, Instagram at NTA Network, Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at NTA News Online, or visit www.nta.ng. For live streaming, visit www.nta.ng/live. Now, you can stay updated on the go, be it on your TV, iPhone, laptop, or iPad, or download the NTA mobile application from your Play Store or App Store. NTA, you can beat the rich.
Now we can go to Mohammed in Maiduguri for our next set of reports. Mohammed.
(1,400) internally displaced persons taking refuge at Bakassi IDP's camp, a government-designated camp in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, have benefited from the monthly food distribution exercise of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA. Abubakar Mohammed Musa reports.
Mutum ya fara baka abu ko da kaɗan dole ne ka gode wa Allah ka gode mishi.
Allah fitar muku gajiya kuma Allah kara muku karfinku.
Gaskiya muna samun abinci sai godiya.
Ai ma gwamnati godiya da abincin da na dan tallafa mana.
These are among the beneficiaries of the monthly food distribution exercise being carried out by the National Emergency Management Agency across crisis-affected communities in Nigeria, sending messages of appreciation to the federal government for ensuring provision of food in abundance in IDPs camps.
When we finish with the camps, we have host community like Wagami, Salamanti. Then in liberated area outside the Borno, we have Benishak, where we have 3,000 households. Then Minok.
The food distribution exercise is an initiative of the federal government designed to reach out to states being confronted with humanitarian challenges like Borno. The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, says it will stop at nothing in sustaining the monthly food distribution exercise, in addition to providing the IDPs with all their basic needs. In Maiduguri, Abubakar Mohammed Musa, NTA News.
As exiting examinations continue gradually across the country, COVID-19 safety protocols are being complied with strictly in both public and private schools in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, with authorities fully on ground to ensure there is no compromise. Again, Abubakar Mohammed Musa has an update.
This is the first time that exiting students are writing examinations amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. However, all the safety guidelines of wearing face masks, washing of hands with disinfectants as at when due, and observance of physical distance are being sustained in both public and private secondary schools.
We have washing
hand washing equipment, but even before COVID-19. So what we have done now is to add to what we have before. We are working 24 hours to ensure that all the protocols directed by the NCDC has been observed.
Relevant authorities have made it a routine to go around the various institutions since commencement of the exiting examinations for supervision towards ensuring that there is no compromise.
The state cannot compromise is the issue of the guidelines given by the federal government as regards COVID-19.
I have been stressing this, spacing, wash facilities, neat environment are things that are up to be observed during the exams.
With the institutions and relevant authorities doing the needful against COVID-19, maximum success is expected to be achieved eventually. In Maiduguri, Abubakar Muhammad Musa, NTA News.
I now hand you back to Abuja for the rest of Network News.
Thank you, Mohammed. The Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 has urged state governments and key players in the education sector to intensify enforcement of COVID-19 guidelines during the ongoing WAEC examinations. Chairman of the task force, Boss Mustafa, says this is necessary to guard against the high prospect of community transmission among young people. Mitaire Ikwen reports.
The World Health Organization has warned that young people are aiding the spread of COVID-19. As the youth constitute majority of Nigeria's population, the PTF urges everyone to be on guard.
The recent case of infection among students sitting for the senior secondary school examination calls for more vigilance by the education sector and all of us.
Meanwhile, there is significant progress in local medical research on COVID-19.
173 COVID-19 researches have been collated, and 13 of these researches completed. Relevant findings from the completed research will be sent to the PTF to help guide response.
Have interest in the COVAX facility, which is a Gavi-supported global initiative to procure and assure equitable access to vaccines as soon as they are available. This will prioritize Nigeria for allocation of a part of 2 billion vaccine doses.
The NCDC has also launched online portals to fast-track notification of COVID-19 test results.
We communicate only negative results in through the platform. This is actually to ensure that the positive results are well taken care of, because we will need psychosocial support. It's not good for you to get a report that you're positive on SMS.
There are certain countries that have placed ban on Nigerians and residents of Nigeria going to their country. So, in this process, we are doing determining who will be allowed to fly to Nigeria. The principle of reciprocity will be applied.
With male to female infection rate for COVID-19 put at 2-to-1, the PTF appeals to Nigerians to get tested and know their status. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikwen, NTA News.
Now for sports with Kene Imabudike.
With the gradual return of non-contact sports in Abuja amid